Hello, my name is Hamid. I'm glad to welcome you to follow a pedagogical lesson in English. I hope you'll make the best of it. Are you ready? Shall we go? Yes. As you can see, this is a reading comprehension lesson. All right. We're going to study a text whose title is Formal and Informal Education. Okay, the title is Formal and Informal Education. But before we start, let me ask you a question. What ideas or words come to your minds when you hear or see the word education? That is to say, when you hear or see the word education, what words, expressions, or sentences do you think of? Then, I'm sure you can help me complete this spider map. Okay? So please, what words do you think of when you hear or listen the word education? Good. School. Fine. Yes, we go to school to get education. Children and adults, of course, go to school to get educated. So school is a good word. Another word? Yes, family. That's very good. Yes, children and adults too get education in the family. So the family is some form of school too. Any other word? Fine. Society. Yes, we live in society, and in our interaction with society, we learn things. So society can be considered also a source of education. That's nice. Good. Community. That's very good. A community, again, we live in a community. It can be a neighborhood. It can be a tribe. So we live in a community, and of course, it can be a source of our education. Children and adults too, yes, learn a lot when they live in a community. Okay, yes, teach and teaching. Yes, when we hear or see the word education, we think of the word teach and teaching. Yes, we go to school, to have the teacher. Now the teacher has a role in school. He teaches us things. Any other words? Okay. Teacher or instructor. Now we've got teacher. Another word for teacher is instructor. So the teacher, his job is to teach children in school. So it's another word which comes to our mind when we hear or see the word education. That's very good. Oh yes, a learner or a student. Yes, you are a learner, of course, you're a student, and I hope you're going to learn many things from today's session. So learner, student are words we think of when we hear or see the word education. Oh yes, learn and learning. As I said, we go to school, okay, to learn things. We learn things in the family, and we can learn things too in the community. Any other word? Oh yes, lessons, activities, exercises. Yes, it's normally when we hear or see the word education, we think of lessons, activities, and exercises. That's very good. Oh yes, program or curriculum. Now curriculum is another word for program. Now program is associated with the word education or school. Very good. Oh yes, when we hear education, we think of good manners or good behavior. Yes, normally when we say someone is educated, which means he has good behavior. One more word? Yes. Good behavior goes hand in hand with good manners. Now we think of good manners, good behavior, when we hear or see the word education. That's nice. A last word maybe, a last phrase? Oh yes, knowledge and skills. Now education, we associate this word with knowledge. we know things in school, in books, and we learn skills. Skills, for example, reading is a skill, listening is a skill, speaking is a skill in English, and writing is a skill too. So here are the words and phrases we associate with the word education. Good. Now let's have some pronunciation. Now the first word is this. Please, can you say the word after me? Instructor. Instructor. Good. Knowledge. Okay. Knowledge. Fine. Curriculum. Curriculum. Good. Once again, instructor, knowledge, curriculum. Now, the title of the text we're going to study, as I said before, is Formal and Informal Education. It has got 3 paragraphs. That's paragraph 1. Just look at it, please. And this is paragraph 2, right? And this is paragraph 3. That's a text which is composed of 3 paragraphs. Okay? Now, let's look at the title of the reading text and have a guess. All right, the title, as you remember, is Formal and Informal Education. Now, this is my question to you. Which of the 2 types of education has to do with schooling, and which type of education is associated with the word socialization? You remember, we've got informal education and formal education. Okay, the exercise is, right, please, you match the word schooling, socializing, with informal or formal education. Just guess before we read the text. Now, you've made your guesses. That's okay. Please write them down. Now, let's survey the text and check your answers. Check means examining. Checking whether they are true or false. Now, surveying a text, which means we're just going to have a general look of the text. We're not going to read the text in details, just survey it. That is to say, have a global view of the text. Now, here we are. This is the title again, Formal and Informal Education. This is the title of the text. As I told you before, it has got 3 paragraphs. This is the first paragraph. I'm afraid the answer isn't in the first paragraph, and the answers to our 2 questions are in paragraph 2 and 3. Now survey, remember, not reading. Now here is paragraph 2. Please just look at the first sentence of the paragraph. It is in red. Now let's read it. Formal education is most typically referred to as schooling. Remember the task? Which type of education is linked to schooling, and which one is linked to socializing? Now please remember this. Here is paragraph 3. Again, we're not going to read the whole text. We're just going to survey, that is to say, have a global look at the text. And please, I'll invite you to have a look at the first sentence, which is, informal education can be best thought of as socialization in the family. Now, I'm sure now you have an idea about the answer to our 2 questions. Right. Answer. Remember, we've got formal education and we've got informal education. So which one do we associate with schooling, and which one do we associate with socializing? Very good. Formal education means schooling. And the answer for question 2 is socialization. That's very good. Now, we're going to read the text and tick the right characteristic of each type of education. Now, if you remember well, now informal education has a characteristic or some characteristics, and formal education has some characteristics. Now we're going to read the text, and then we're going to tick. Now the tick is what you have in yellow between parentheses. Now here are the characteristics. Characteristic, formal education, and informal education. Now, if you don't mind, let's read through these characteristics. It's modern, it's traditional, it takes place in schools, it takes place in the community, it is given by teachers, it is given by parents, relatives, learning activities are abstract, learning activities are concrete. Now tick means this, right? Or this. Okay. Now let's read the text. Here is the title again. Formal and informal education. Education in modern industrial societies tends to be considered as a standardized process, whereby teachers instruct students in a specialized institution. But from anthropological perspective, it is more than this. It includes all the cultural influences that are brought to bear upon the individual during the early years of his life, and by which the helpless child, infant, becomes a mature member of a community equipped with all the knowledge, skills, and social sentiments which characterize members of that community. One useful way to distinguish education is in terms of its formal and informal modes. Now, formal education is most typically referred to as schooling and differs from informal education in a number of ways. Schooling implies a curriculum whereby learning activities are organized into units that are increasingly abstract and removed from reality. They are taught in a specialized, concentrated, and highly verbal context. In addition, the emphasis is upon teaching by impersonal instructors who tend to relate to students only in terms of school activities. Moreover, the incentives of the learner are vague and focus on delayed and remote rewards which often lie beyond the school. Paragraph 3. Informal education can be best thought of as socialization in the family, and the learning activities are specific and concrete, dealing with everyday events. These activities tend not to have a specialized character of their own because they are usually byproducts of family activities. The emphasis is upon the learner, who is related to the parents or kinsmen in a highly affective and personal terms. Finally, the incentive for learning tends to be more immediate and intrinsic to the activities themselves. Remember the task? You've got to tick the characteristic of each form of education. Right? Now it's modern. So which form of education is modern? Good. It's formal education. Next characteristic, it's traditional. Now which one do you think is traditional? Formal or informal education? Very good. Informal. Next feature, it takes place in schools. Very good. That's formal education. Next, it takes place in the community. Very good. That's informal education. Next characteristic, it is given by teachers. Formal, informal? Nice. Formal. It is given by parents, relatives. Very good. That's informal education. All right. Learning activities are abstract. Formal, informal? Nice. That's formal. And the last one, learning activities are concrete. It's quite evident it's informal. Well done. Now we move to the next exercise. It's a reading exercise, of course. It's called pronoun reference. And the question we usually ask is, what do the underlined words in the text refer to? This is the question you're going to encounter in the reading lessons as well as in exams. This is the first question. What does it in paragraph 1 refer to? And here is paragraph 1. Right? You can see it's underlined, and it's in red. So the question, what does it in the text refer to? Let me read the text to you. Education in modern industrial societies tends to be considered as a standardized process whereby teachers instruct students in a specialized institution. But from an anthropological perspective, it is more than this. That's okay. It refers to education. Very good. Here is the answer again. It refers to education. This is how you have to formulate your answer. Next, what does that in paragraph 2 refer to? Here is that in the text. Schooling implies a curriculum whereby learning activities are organized into units that are increasingly abstract and removed from reality. They are taught in a specialized, concentrated, and highly verbal context. Very good. That refers to units. Here is the answer. That refers to units. Next, what does who in paragraph 3 refer to? Here is who. The emphasis is upon the learner, who is related to the parents or kinsmen in a highly affective and personal terms. That's very easy, isn't it? So who refers to the learner? That's very good. Here is the answer. Who refers to the learner? All right. Well done. Now, of course, before we leave, I've got a homework for you. So once we've read the text and done some comprehension exercises, I've got a piece of homework for you. It's this. It's called Learn to Use Your Dictionary. Right? I'm sure you have a dictionary at home. So when you go home, please try to explain these words using your dictionary. Look up these words in the dictionary. Now, the first word is infant, and it is in paragraph 1. Word number 2 is reward, paragraph 2. And word 3 is incentive, and it's in paragraph 3. Right? So infant, paragraph 1. Reward, paragraph 2. Incentive, paragraph 3. Please try to remember these words, and please do the homework using your dictionary. So, thank you very much for this lesson. I hope to be able to see you next time. Thank you very much. See you, and you've been very nice with me. You've helped build up the spider map very well, and you've been able to answer all the questions. So thank you very much for this time, and bye-bye.